This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
I'm trying to tell Discord we're live. And nobody knows we're on. Hey, Snicks. I'm amazed you're here. Because I've been very sporadic. So I try to promote whenever I know that the show is going to be on. And I just didn't have a chance today to go and make a post on YouTube or put the card up on Facebook and shit like I usually do. And I just now told Discord we're live. Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. It's a St. Patty's Day. St. Patty's Day. PB Girl. Mitochondria. Good evening. Welcome. St. Patty's Day, so I gotta burn the green to commemorate. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, I have nothing planned whatsoever. However, there's been a lot of shit going on. I have videos saved. They're just not in any order. There's not gonna be any structure to this show. We're gonna be freeballing tonight. We're gonna be getting high and freaking freeballing because Justin's been that goddamn busy. We get some weed out here. I gotta make the money to be able to, smoke bong rips all the time. Can't take it away from my attention. I gotta get off here. I'm gonna be working until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning for sure. That's if I get off of this show by 10, which is highly unlikely. I was proud of myself today that I got up. I think it was 8 videos I needed to get produced and exported. One of them did not finish exporting. I had to turn it off in order to be here to do the show with you. But I actually got the amount of work done that I wanted to get done. I hit my target. I just didn't get them all exported. And they're all uploaded now, so we good. PP Girl gonna do a dab. I'm gonna do a fat bong rip here. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm working my way back. I can't even keep to my 2-day-a-week schedule right now. But I swear to you that by around this time next month, when we're coming up on that Troll Patrol Live 4th 20 anniversary celebration, I think we're going to be going back to being a daily show once again. Not the Daily Show, which Jon Stewart... I'm rambling now. I'm sorry. I tried to make a new countdown with Celtic music for the St. Patty's Day today, and I just didn't have time. I didn't have time. I pulled my program up, and it didn't want to cooperate with me. If it had worked with me. See, this is a little inside baseball now, but Adobe makes their products worse as you go along. Every new update makes something that used to work not work anymore. And somehow, during this process, as the phone I turned on to get on Discord, and it hasn't been on in a couple of days, so it's got a lot of notifications going. That's what's going on over here. I don't even know what I was talking about anymore. Oh, so if I've got an old project, let's say that I have an old 4-year-old project that I've been working off of that has all the Troll Patrol intros. For some reason, once you get so many updates away from when the project was created, it starts having a hard time loading the old projects. I don't know, Adobe. It sucks, but I can't live with it. I can't live without it. Good evening to everyone. Good evening. I had apparently somebody called in on Tuesday night at midnight. Not usually on. Even back when we were nightly, I don't think I was usually on at midnight. However, they left us a voicemail, so we're going to have to listen to this voicemail. So, this is a voicemail left for me.
Hey, Justin. I had you on my heart, and I wanted to give you a call and talk to you. I have looked at your stuff here and there over the last couple of weeks. I've seen that you had commented on my Facebook post maybe a month back. Whatever, but man, I would love.
The plot thickens here. I have no clue who this person is. I do so much troll now. It would have to be about a month back, that's for sure, because Justin is still currently serving a 30-day ban on Facebook. I think he's 4 or 5 days away from being free again. I don't usually get banned anymore, and I apparently you can't call children potatoes. You can't. That's what I got banned for. I shared a dude's profile picture out, and he had his kids in it, and I was like, I feel sorry for these potato kids, and apparently that's some kind of harassment. So I haven't been on Facebook in quite some time. However, just saying I commented on your Facebook page doesn't narrow things down at all, because oh boy, when they're letting me run loose, I'm commenting on a lot of Facebook pages.
To have a actual intelligent conversation with you. I know that you.
I don't think you can. I'm already gonna bet money that you can't have an intelligent conversation.
Maybe a month back. Whatever. But
not high enough for this shit.
Man, I would love to have a actual intelligent conversation with you. I know that you play on a whole bunch of stuff, man, but I promise, dude, I wish that we could talk and you not shit, man. You got.
I don't even know who this dude is, and I have him incredibly frustrated. Is this the guy that told us that the Earth was only like 5,000 years old? It kind of sounds like that guy. And then he asked me if evolution was true. Well, intelligence isn't this guy's strong point. Fair enough. These nuts. I feel like it's the guy who asked me if we evolved from monkeys, where did giraffes come from, or something like that. It was just such an absurd question that I was taken aback by it. Clinically, good evening. We had a caller call in last week and left me a voice message. Apparently, I commented on their Facebook page.
I have looked at your stuff here and there over the last couple of weeks. I've seen that you had commented on my Facebook post maybe a month back. Whatever, but man, I would love to have a actual intelligent conversation with you.
But what did I comment, though? What did I say?
I know that you play on a whole bunch of stuff, man, but I promise, dude, I wish that we could talk and you not shit, man. You've got to realize a lot of stuff, man. I see the shit that you post, and it's just nuts, man. Anyways,
Nuts.
I don't know where you live, but you obviously have been brainwashed. You are brainwashed.
By whom?
You're like the vast minority. The majority of this country do not think like you do.
I am well aware that the majority of the country doesn't think like I do. I would actually posture the notion that the majority of the country doesn't really think. I don't think thinking is a thing that Americans are known for. Just throw that out there.
I promise you that, man. And I've seen that. I've seen something where you said that you're not funded by people. You're nuts. The left is funded by these big tech companies. The right is not funded by anybody.
The fuck are you talking about, dude? The left is funded. First of all, a company doesn't fund the left. If it's a corporation, by definition, it is not the left. There's nobody over here in CNN preaching fucking Marxism saying we should relinquish private property because that's not good for their shareholders. You don't understand the fundamental distinction between the left and the right. Liberals, that's who you're actually pissed at. Capitalism, you're trying to call me out for capitalism when I'm not. I don't listen to these big corporations. The right is absolutely funded by fucking billionaires. You can trace pretty much the Moms for Liberty. You can trace all the different book challenges across this country. The Daily Wire, The Blaze, TPUSA, Young America's Foundation, the Cato Institute. I can go the Mises Institute. I can go on and on and on and on. All these right-wing groups that are funded by 5 fucking different billionaires. It's absolutely insane. You are an idiot. Sorry.
Donald Trump, and I'm not a supporter of Trump, but Donald Trump supported himself.
No,
You're
he didn't.
Crazy if you think that the right is supported by big tech companies. But anyways,
Is the right depends on which big tech company. No, I don't think the right is supported by big tech. I think they're supported by a lot of Wall Street money. I think they're supported by a lot of oil money. I think they're supported by a lot of banking institutions. So, like, bro, no, I don't think that the right is funded by big tech. I would absolutely say that Google, Facebook, especially their employees, probably not so. The CEOs are probably pretty balanced in their givings between the two parties. Both parties are corrupted by corporate money, but I would say once you get down to the rank and file employees, overwhelmingly they give to Democrats and vote Democratic. That's not the own you think it is. I don't think you understand what's going on.
I'd love to have another conversation with you.
He said another conversation. It was the dude that believes that the Earth is 5,000 years old. He like is completely batshit insane. So an intelligent conversation cannot be had.
And if you want to do it on your show, that's totally cool.
Well, yeah.
I hope that you put this on your show. Tag me in it if you do. But I would love to talk to you again. And I do care about you and your salvation.
My salvation. That was the end. Holy shit. When you say my salvation, are you talking about the 2013 movie I produced while I was in high school? That was a voicemail. No, he didn't know. He didn't know he was live. I got cat hair in my mouth. Chainsaw. Nathan, what's going on, my friends? I did a movie when I was in college called Salvation. Is that when you say you are concerned for my salvation? Is that what we're talking about? Speaking of salvation, he's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Should I watch Dune? Is it like... I hear a lot of people talking about it, but I don't hear people like talk about how like good it is and shit. The reviews for the second one seem pretty mixed. Opinions from the peanut gallery. Should I watch the Dune movies? I think I'd be more apt to go back and like there's a like 80s movie, right? Didn't know. No, man. Like fucking, I watched Life of Brian though. I've seen Life of Brian. If there is a movie where I'm looking at it and I'd be like, I could watch this or I could watch Life of Brian. Life of Brian's probably gonna win out 9 out of 10 times. There you go. Yes, the Lynch cut is that's the Dune I want to watch. They're good, not... See, I don't want good, not amazing. I could be watching Life of Brian, motherfuckers. Alright, so if you're just joining us, I didn't have time to prepare for a show, as I haven't been with you guys in like a week. Because I didn't have time to do a show, because I'm just busy. But like, I've got food money and weed money now. I'm not... By the way, like, as of this week, because I was in a bit of a hole. I've been in a bit of a hole since like fall of last year. Justin is no longer in a hole. Justin is in the plus. All Justin's bills are paid up. Amazingly enough. Justin's got food in the pantry. Justin's got weed to smoke. Bills are paid. He's got the newest Final Fantasy game. And he's got plenty of work. He's got so much work, you wish motherfuckers would leave him alone. I hate to hear that. Being in a hole sucks. And I think I get the seasonal affected depression, the SADS. I think I get the SADS. So, like, time change has been like a fucking, you want to call it an aphrodisiac? You want to call it a mood stabilizer? What, like, fucking, I love this shit. Springtime, baby, I'm into it. Not to be too chipper, anybody that wants to be cynical or down about anything, because, like, fuck it, let's get mad about shit. Shit sucks, too. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear about the concussion. Yeah, okay, so if you don't pay rent long enough and the landlord stops calling and asking, one day you're going to get a cop knock at your door. That's the downfall to that. You'll be laying in bed one morning cuddling with your cats and cop knock at your door. That ain't good. Might even go see a concert. Before I started doing this show, I saw concerts all the time. I haven't seen a concert in a while. As you guys know, Maynard James Keenan is my idol. Currently touring the country for his birthday. I think it's his 70th birthday celebration or something. God damn, he's old. Maybe it's the 60th. 70. Ric Flair's fucking 70. You're fucking. Oh my god. Landlord doesn't ask you for much. You don't ask him for much. Maynard touring around the country with Primus, Perfect Circle, Pussifer. They're going to have all three bands on stage at once. It's just going to be like a giant jam session. Like they switch it up what songs they do and stuff. It's not like an actual show. Like that's a fucking music nerd like me's wet dream, right? And it's going to be in Nashville, and Curiouser is down to go. So all I got to do is buy the tickets. So I do. The question now is, do I go ahead and buy them here in the next week or so when I have plenty of money at my disposal to be able to buy them, or do I wait? Because they went on sale months ago. So do I wait until like a couple days before and see if I can get them cheaper? It's a gamble. You might lose out if you do that. You don't want to play. All right, but as I said, I've been really busy. So I haven't really had a chance to put a show together. However, I have plenty of stuff saved because I'm always, even when I'm not doing the show, I'm still saving clips and news stories to be able to talk to you guys about. There's shit I don't even know all the details about. I just know headlines about, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get caught up with everything that's gone on over the last week or so. We're going to start off with something that apparently happened yesterday and that is just fucking baffling me, okay? So, like, I can't really introduce to you what we're going to talk about on the show because who fucking knows? Clinically says just buy the tickets.
Head of the United Auto Workers never...
I probably should. They're already sold out. It's already on the resale market. But like everything goes on the resale market now. Like buying tickets is not the game it was 7 years ago when I was going to a lot of concerts. I can't believe it's been that long. It seems like it was just yesterday that I was going and seeing concert after concert. But I've been doing this show for 4 years. We're getting ready. We're about a month away from the Troll Patrol 4th 20 anniversary celebration coming up on Saturday, 4/20. And we might have an announcement about the show being daily once again. That's all. Like everything sells out now, and you have to go through a reseller. So it's gaming the system to when you get it the cheapest. And if you're lucky, because I started doing this back at the tail end of going to concerts. Especially if you live in the town where the venue is. So if the show's not popular, the ticket prices plummet. So you might, if it's like day of, you might be able to see a show that you thought was way too expensive for half of what the face value is. But yeah, other than that, it's very predatory. It sucks. Remind me, and we'll talk about Kanye's concert, because there's some fun shit that went on at Kanye's concert the other day. But speaking of Klan rallies, Donald Trump held a rally yesterday. Said something that the right-wingers say it's a hoax, but you're literally going to hear him say the phrase they're saying is a hoax. And I don't understand what they're saying is a hoax when he literally said the phrase, like CBS News has reported, like Donald Trump said there's going to be a bloodbath if he's not elected. That is true. He literally said that. You're going to hear it. I'm going to hear it.
And the head of the United Auto Workers never probably shook hands with a Republican before. They're destroying. You know, Mexico has taken over a period of 30 years.
What is it? When you shake hands with a Republican, the only place there is to pee is his open eye hole? Is that how the saying goes? I butchered the saying, but something like that. So yeah, Sean Fain probably hasn't shaken hands with a Republican, and good on him. That's one of the reasons why we like him.
4% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it. Went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. No, we're going to put a 100% on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. A friend of mine, all he does is build car manufacturing plants. He's the biggest.
He said it. I heard him say it. You heard him say it.
Joke about it. He can't walk.
Now he does indeed. He's saying it in relation to talking about manufacturing jobs. But you're at an all-time high like right now. It's so wild. This motherfucker walks out on stage and is like, Joe Biden is the worst president of all time. Really? I had a right-winger post about black unemployment again to me on Twitter just the other day. And I said, motherfucker, it is lower now.
Across the street. In that way, he's like Biden. But for building a plant, he can do the greatest plants in the world, right? That's all he cares about. I said, I'd like to see one of your plants recently. I said, I'd like to see, where can we go? Well, we have to travel to Mexico. I said, why Mexico? He said, because that's where the big plants are building. China's building really big plants in Mexico, and Mexico's building. What about here? Well, we're building much smaller plants here. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? So what they're saying, Jim Jordan, is that we're going to make cars in Mexico, and they're going to do. You're not going to stand for that, Bernie, JD. I have a feeling JD's not big.
Fucking JD Vance.
100% tariff. They won't sell any cars over here, and I'll tell them if they want to build a plant in Michigan, in Ohio, in South Carolina, they can using American workers. They can. They can't send Chinese workers over here, which they sometimes do. But if they want to do that, we're welcome, right? But they're not going to build them in Mexico, and they're not going to do that. We're going to tariff them at 100%, just like I've done. I saved the steel industry. The people that like me the most are the steel companies. But now I've been out for a little while, and guess what? United States Steel, 50 years, 60 years ago.
Producing more steel than we ever have.
Was just sold to Japan. How do you like that? U.S. Steel owned.
We produce more steel than we have in years.
Hopefully they won't allow it.
Now this was a rally for Bernie Moreno. By the way, okay, so here's one of the things that going into this year, the Senate map looked horrendous for Democrats. And after some news over the last couple of weeks and getting to know the candidates, Sherrod Brown, the Democrat from Ohio, one of the most vulnerable seats we're looking at in this fall race, is lucky that he's gonna get a Trump-endorsed Bernie Moreno. It looks like the polls show a competitive three-way race. Bernie Moreno supporters are worried about a late-stage surge by Senator Matt Dolan. Where President Donald Trump parachuted into the final days of an increasingly vicious Senate GOP contest in Ohio to boost his preferred pick, Bernie Moreno. Tuesday's primary is a heated three-way brawl between Moreno, Secretary of State Frank LaRose, and State Senator Matt Dolan. Dolan, the scion of a family who owns the Cleveland Guardians baseball team, has been surging in the closing stretch, with recent polls showing the race is a toss-up. That's turned the race into a test of the former president's clout in the state. While Marino has the backing of Trump and other MAGA figures, Dolan has the support of the Ohio Republican establishment, picking up endorsements in recent days from Governor Mike DeWine and former Ohio Senator Rob Portman. Trump took aim at Dolan on Saturday, calling him a weak rhino who is trying to become the next Mitt Romney. He revived a long-running complaint against Dolan's family that they changed the name of the baseball team that they own from the Cleveland Indians to the Cleveland Guardians because they are easily pushed around by the woke left-wing lunatics.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
It's almost like they're in charge of a trust fund, Trump said, mocking the new moniker. He asked the crowd twice to cheer if they wanted to keep the original name. The rally in here near Dayton International Airport brought a who's who of the MAGA movement to Western Ohio. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, Representative Jim Jordan, and Senator J.D. Vance, who himself has boosted by Trump out of a brutal primary in 2022. In his roughly 90-minute speech on Saturday afternoon, Trump celebrated clinching the GOP nomination days earlier and besieged the crowd to help him follow up our historic victory this week and add it with Bernie Moreno. We might have to do a show on Tuesday. Praising the Ohio Senate candidate as a fantastic guy and a hero, Trump said voters need to elect Moreno to support his second-term priorities, including a crackdown on immigration. He's getting some very tough Democrat fake treatment right now, and we're not going to stand for it because I know this man. We all know this man. He's a hero. He's a winner. You got to win, Bernie. Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone, Bernie. I feel like reading Trump's words are more fun than actually hearing him say them anymore. The novelty is long worn off. Let's do this since we're on the Trump train here. What's side? I asked my friend if she liked West Coast or East Coast. Said neither. Like the dirty, and I was like, ah, shit. Like, what do you pick? I was like, I was fucking listening to Tupac when I asked you that question. Shorty wanna be a thug. Shorty who wishes he could be a thug. What a horrible fucking transition. Mike Pence does not endorse former President Trump for the presidency.
Thanks to you and happy St. Patrick's Day.
Good morning, Margaret. Good to be with you.
There's a lot to get to with you today, but I want to begin with some remarks Mr. Trump made yesterday at a rally in Ohio. He walked onto the stage to a song recorded by a choir of prisoners facing charges for their role in the violence of January the 6th. Take a listen.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that happened. Excellent.
You see the spirit from the hostages, and that's what they are, as hostages. They've been treated terribly and very unfairly, and you know that, and everybody knows that. And we're going to be working on that soon as the first day we get into office. We're going to save our country, and we're going to work with the people to treat those unbelievable patriots, and they were unbelievable patriots and are.
I know in the past you've said Mr. Trump's reckless words endangered you and your family on that day. What do you think when you hear him refer to those people facing charges as hostages and patriots?
Well, I think it's very unfortunate at a time that there are American hostages being held in Gaza that the president or any other leaders would refer to people that are moving through our justice system as hostages, and it's just unacceptable. I was there on January 6th. I've no doubt in my mind, Margaret, that some people were caught up in the moment and that entered the Capitol, and they're certainly entitled to due process of law for any nonviolent act.
No, it was very much a plot by the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, and several other militia groups to try to hold up the proceedings, because there was this whole Telegram chat where they thought that if the election wasn't certified on January 6th, it would kick it back down to the states. This is where they had the fake elector plot. This was John Eastman was in on all of this, the Kenneth Cheese Bro. All of this has come out in court documents. We know about the fucking plot. So any of these jackasses that still want to say that it wasn't a coup or an insurrection, you're out of your fucking minds. So it wasn't just some people got carried away, Mike Pence. They were literally chanting, "Hang Mike Pence."
Activities that day, but the assaults on police officers, ultimately an environment that claimed lives, is something that I think was tragic that day, and I'll never diminish it.
And the legal system is processing these individuals through and giving them trials. I wonder what you think, though, about Mr. Trump and whether the public needs to hear and see some of the evidence in regard to the federal charges related to his alleged role in January 6th. Do you think that needs to happen before Election Day?
Yes.
Look,
I wish
American people lived through that moment. I and my family and my team lived through it at the Capitol that day. I think most Americans know what happened. As I've said before, I truly do believe that that the judgment about the president's conduct that day should have been left to the American people. I know it's been brought into a criminal trial now, and we have cases around the country that have been brought related to that, notably in Georgia. But at the end of the day, I think the American people know what happened that day. And I said the people that ransacked the Capitol need to be held to the fullest account of the law, and I believe that they are. But the judgment about the president's efforts that day, I think, can be left to the American people. But look, I said last week that
I say he tried to commit a coup.
Prayer and reflection, I've come to the conclusion that I won't be endorsing Donald Trump this year. Look, I'm very proud of the record of our administration, Margaret. It was a record that left America more prosperous and more secure, and our liberties and the sanctity of life stronger than.
So should I read that as him saying that God told him not to vote for Donald Trump? Or not to endorse? He'll still vote for Trump, right? He's just not publicly endorsing Trump.
Than ever before in my lifetime.
But you've said Mr. Trump's walked away from conservative principles.
Well, I do. I said it during my presidential.
I've got a cat acting crazy over here.
Differences. And many people think it's just over January 6th. And frankly, the fact that the president continues to insist that I had the right to overturn the election that day is a fundamental difference. But I want to be clear that, I've forgiven the president in my heart for what happened that day. As a Christian, I'm required to do that. I've prayed for him in that regard. But the issue of fealty to the Constitution is not a small matter, but it's not just that. I mean, the reason that I cannot in good conscience endorse Donald Trump this year also has to do with the fact that he is walking away not just from keeping faith with the Constitution on that day, but also, Margaret, with a commitment to fiscal responsibility, a commitment to the sanctity of life, a commitment to American leadership in the world. I mean, the president's reversal just in the last week on
they should commit him, all right.
Following an administration where we literally changed the national consensus on China, is the reason why after a lot of reflection, I just concluded I cannot endorse the agenda that Donald Trump is carrying into this national debate.
Is that the final word from you? Can you be persuaded if he changes tax to vote for him? Would you vote for him?
I won't be endorsing Donald Trump this year. But look, I want to be clear.
But would you vote for him?
I respect.
This year, when he runs again in 2028, Mike Pence will endorse him. Because somebody, I think it might have been Aaron Rupert on Twitter, pointed it out. Should Trump lose this fall, the presumptive nominee for 2028 in the Republican Party, no matter what happens, is going to be Donald Trump. Like, we're not done with this motherfucker if he loses again. Politically just had that realization. Let's hope. I mean, like, you would think that Mother Nature and natural causes, like, do your thing. Kissinger lived to be fucking 100 or just shy of 100. Evil thrives.
Back to the right of Republican voters who've made it clear who they're for, who they want to be our standard bearer this year. What I'm going to focus my energies on is what remains of this year on what we should be for. Because I joined this party when I was in college.
Yeah.
Because I heard the voice and the values of another good Irishman named Ronald Reagan, who said that we need to have a strong national defense, but also recognize we're leader of the free world, that we need to stand for traditional values, the sanctity of life. We need to stand for the Constitution and limited government. And in the balance of this year and in the years ahead, I'm just going to continue to champion those values that I think are not just good for the Republican Party, Margaret, but I think that they are the right policies for a stronger, more prosperous America.
But I ask you about persuasion and voting because this is not just Mr. Trump. He has taken the party with him. He has taken the Senate Republican leadership who are endorsing him. He has taken the House Republican endorsements with him, too, in terms of leadership. Are all of those people, from Mitch McConnell to Mike Johnson, walking away from the conservative principles, you say?
Well, I don't want to say that they are. I want to say that my deep conviction is...
They are endorsing Donald Trump.
That this is a conservative party. This is still a party, I believe, that stands for less government, less taxes, American leadership in the world, traditional moral values, and the right to life. I just think, frankly, the disaster of the Biden administration has resulted in people going back to what's familiar. And I understand that. I worked day in and day out for 4.5 years to build that record of the Trump-Pence administration. I'm incredibly proud of it. But as I look at what Donald Trump is running on now, I simply cannot, in good conscience, endorse his candidacy this year.
Is there any material difference in what he's running on now as opposed to what he was running on in 2016 or 2020? Can anyone tell me what is different? Yeah, it's same old Trump, same old. I don't understand what Pence is talking about. There was some movement in the classified documents case. The ruling by Eileen Cannon last week. Jack Smith's nightmare scenario revealed by an attorney. Prosecutors would instantly lose their classified documents case against Trump if a trial judge finds the charges are too vague. Former federal prosecutor said that's the thing that Trump's attorneys were trying to argue. Writing in her legal blog, Civil Discourse, on Friday, Joy Vance said that the government would have no right to appeal in such a nightmare scenario because the defendant cannot be retried after a jury has been sworn in. Any attempt to appeal would be dismissed under the double jeopardy rule, which prevents prosecutors from trying the same person again for the same charges. They sure didn't. On Thursday, Judge Eileen Cannon dismissed Trump's application to have the charges dismissed on vagueness grounds. However, Cannon, a Trump appointee, wrote that she was making her decision without prejudice, meaning that Trump's lawyers can raise the vagueness issue again at a later date. That's what she, like, all this shit is maneuvering to try to help Trump. She also noted that the vagueness dispute hinges on a disagreement about factual issues in the case, opening the door for Trump's lawyers to later show their version of the facts are correct. The judge dismissed the vagueness argument, but just for today, she did it without prejudice, which means that Trump's lawyers could raise the argument again later in the case. In fact, the judge seemed to do just that in her order, essentially inviting the defense to raise the argument again at trial. That's significant because those disputed issues get aired at trial when the evidence is presented to the jury. That's because once a jury has been impaneled, double jeopardy attaches and prevents the government from retrying the defendant on the same charges if he is acquitted, which is what would happen if the judge granted a motion to dismiss at that point and before a jury rendered a guilty verdict. That's the nightmare scenario. The judge has simply said, I agree with Donald Trump, and I find this is vague, and I'm dismissing it. The government could have appealed to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, as they've done twice before and won twice before, but she also did not want to rule in the government's favor. So what she did was, why don't you bring this up later? I think there are some real issues here. I love this. Newsweek has this fairness meter now. I would say this is pretty fair. Most readers rated this article center fair. I would say it was fair. Pretty factual. Let's keep on with elections, shall we? Let's talk about elections here. An Oklahoma town is set to hold a recall election.
It's an unusual meetup on a Monday night
because
Oklahoma.
They elected a Nazi. Apparently, they are having to have a recall election because they elected a Nazi.
It's an unusual meetup on a Monday night in Enid, Oklahoma. The location is secret. Somebody minds the door for security. A small group determined to change their city.
Everybody in this room played a role.
Among those here are 69-year-old Connie Vickers.
I was born and raised here in Enid.
And 74-year-old Nancy Presnell.
I've lived here most of my life.
They're best friends and Democrats, rare in the deeply conservative county. Both retired, but hard at work.
How many doors did you knock on?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was a lot. Enough to get the signatures needed for a recall election of City Commissioner Judd Blevins. This is Judd Blevins. In 2017, tiki torch in hand in Charlottesville, Virginia, marching along
Well, Judge.
supremacists and neo-Nazis.
Judd. Now, let's be perfectly clear. There's been some confusion about the Unite the Right rally that happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. That was explicitly a neo-Nazi rally. It was organized by literal neo-Nazis. Just throwing that out there. There's a lot of people that want to claim there were, good people on both sides.
Of Judd Blevins with the tiki torch. And I was just shocked.
The more they looked, the more they found. Blevins had been an active leader in the white nationalist group Identity Europa. According to an analysis of photos, biographical details, and other information, Blevins hid his white nationalist identity behind the online moniker Conway. In private online forums reviewed by NBC News, Blevins, as Conway, posted racist messages and praised Hitler. And yet, when the former Marine ran for city commissioner last year as a conservative Republican,
he won by 36 votes.
Now, Presnell and Vickers are part of the Enid Social Justice Committee, vocal opponents of Blevins since he took office. The group mincing no words on its website, saying Enid has a Nazi problem.
A lot of people don't want to say the word Nazi, but when you see what he did and what he's involved with, it's not name calling, it's what he is.
He's a fucking Nazi.
We wanted to ask Blevins what he believes for ourselves, but he denied our multiple requests for interviews. We tried once more outside a city council meeting.
Can I ask, you were a leader in an Oklahoma chapter of the white nationalist organization, and I want to know if you have any explanation to that. Then why did you march and unite the right? Why did you hold a tiki torch and march as people say Jews will not replace us, sir?
I've been a conservative all my life.
Cindy Allen was editor and publisher of the Enid News and Eagle when Blevins won.
Why would you admit to something like
Published
that?
a front-page story about his past prior to the election. Blevins called it a hit piece.
We followed up many times, and he never would answer us.
And yet he won.
He won. There's an opportunity now to address what kind of tolerance of extremism this community is going to have.
Enid's mayor, David Mason, also a conservative Republican, says behind closed doors, Blevins admitted to his involvement.
She used to work for Vice, didn't she? She had like short hair, I think, at the time.
In white nationalist activities.
And my follow-up question was, are you still involved with those groups? And he told me I do not have to answer that question. And my thought was, you just did.
Blevins' opponent in the recall election, set for April 2nd, is a Republican too. She didn't want to talk about the race with us, a race that most here see as squarely about Blevins.
If we vote him in a second time, it probably says a lot about who we are.
That identity is exactly what Vickers and Presnell are working for.
National white supremacist organizations have called you two outrageous Antifa commandos.
Badge of honor.
Outrageous Antifa commandos. These two sweet grandmothers. I don't know that they're grandmothers, but they absolutely look like grandmothers. They look like they go bake you some motherfucking cookies.
What happens if you don't win?
We keep putting up a fight. We're not going to put up with it quietly.
Fighting, they say, for the soul of their city. Brandy Zadrozny, NBC News, Enid, Oklahoma.
Thanks for watching. Stay.
Shut up, Lester. To confirm, need Lester yakking at me. We had it was a woman in Nashville. That had Nazi bodyguards and shit. Apparently, let's do this NBC News here. Once again, if you're just joining us, I didn't actually put a show together. I'm usually pretty organized.
We are getting this new report,
but I didn't really have a time to put a show together, so we're just kind of freeballing it tonight. Apparently, Biden has grown angry and anxious with re-election.
Reporting about the Biden campaign and about President Biden himself and how he is taking, especially all of these polls, which show him in some cases losing to former President Trump, basically are reporting.
The polls have been going in his favor. That's what everybody keeps talking about the polls, but like Real Clear Politics has like 2 or 3 different polls showing him winning. So I don't know what and like the polls over the last about 10 years have I take that back. The polls have underestimated Democrats since about 2018. So not quite 10 years, but 6 years.
Reporting says that Biden has grown angry and anxious about his re-election efforts. Simone, is that what you're hearing in your conversations with Democrats?
Richard, good evening.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I were running for election against a person like Donald Trump, who has as many issues as he has and has committed as many alleged acts of criminality as he has, you saw polls that said I was losing to him, even I would be like, well, what is going on here in America? And so I have
propaganda
from Democrats, but also that they do believe there is time and opportunity to get their message.
Also, I want to get there's something that Why is it always like the default, like Republicans win? Why does the American electorate always revert to Republicans by default for some reason? And it's up to the Democratic Party to try to win people over and to turn out voters. Why is it that they have a solid cult-like following? How, like, this whole situation is so absurd to me. I feel like Biden feels like he's doing what he needs to do to win. I'm a lot more certain about Biden when I would say I've swung. I was like 50-50 depending on the economy back in January, December. When we're talking about like looking at, you know, Biden being able to turn out young voters in the face of the Genocide Joe moniker. Now I feel a lot more confident that Biden is going to probably win it pretty handily. All the polls seem to indicate it. They're all going that way. Donald Trump doesn't have any more momentum. He has less momentum than he had in 2016 and 2020. Quesadilla, good evening. That's it's how many people turn out. And I think the turnout is going to be greater than what you were expecting given the situation right now. I think a lot of people are going to be engaged very down ballot. I think like we saw in Ohio with the referendum, the weird election in the middle of summer didn't deter people from coming out and voting against restrictions on women's health care. We've got Senate races. Ted Cruz's opponent. God damn it, I forgot his name again. I want to say it starts with an A. Somebody figure out Ted Cruz's opponent. Polling neck and neck with Ted Cruz in Texas. That was one of the things I was pretty certain that the Republicans were going to take back the Senate by a seat or two, and the Democrats were going to retake the House probably by maybe 10, 15 seats. But I might be calling the Senate for the Democrats now. We know they're going to lose in West Virginia. They lost a seat, and that puts them back at 50-50. But I think Tester and Colin Allred, yes, is polling neck and neck with Ted Cruz. Cosmic Fox, good evening. I think Tester and Brown are both going to retain their seats. And I think that Texas might be a pickup for Democrats. It is possible that Ted Cruz gets unseated. And then the other possible pickup, but it's probably a long shot, given the way that the polling has been in the state and the way the Senate race went in the last cycle, the race with Marco Rubio. Exactly. The stars are aligning for Sherrod Brown. He's already popular. And that was one of the things that I told people to keep in mind, was he's pretty popular even for a Democrat in Ohio. And just like if this Bernie Moreno guy wins, surely Brown will mop the floor with him. So I'm not so confident that the Democrats won't come out with a 50-50 Senate. And possibly if they can pick up that Ted Cruz seat, holy shit. Texas has been trending blue. If you look at the data from 2016 to 2020 to the 2022 races, Texas trending blue. And it's a drastic jump from 2016 to 2020. Like, fucking Trump won it by 12, 13 points. It was double digits in 2016. And it was like 5 points in 2020. That's fucking huge. Texas goes blue in the next decade. So, I don't know, like, fucking... I guess I can understand Biden being angry, grown angry. But also, like, he should have stepped aside. He should have pulled one term and said, all right, I'm out. He should have announced it back before, like, Thanksgiving of last year. We should have had primary debates in December. Let's talk about something that happened since I saw you guys. An independent reporter. Because last time I was on with you guys was the State of the Union. And I am so glad that we stayed up for Katie Britt. Katie Britt was the most entertaining part of the State of the Union. But a day or two later, maybe it was probably like the next day, an independent reporter, he knew a couple of the details of the story that Katie Britt told and was able to do some digging and found out a little something. Katie Britt wasn't exactly truthful in her rebuttal.
Jonathan Katz, the reporter who unraveled Senator Britt's story on TikTok, by the way. TikTok has good things. Joins me now. He's reported extensively on migration and conflict around the world.
Oh, yeah, that happened too.
Knew this something was up here. He was the former bureau chief for the Associated Press in Haiti, and he's the author of 2 books, The Big Truck That Went By, How the World Came to...
Oh, yeah, we should talk about Haiti. Haiti is fucking crazy right now.
Save Haiti and Left Behind a Disaster, and Gangsters of Capitalism, Smedley Butler, The Marines, and the Making and Breaking of America's Empire. So when I was watching your TikTok video, I thought to myself, how did he figure this out? So walk through with us. I mean, you've covered immigration and migration for years. That may be a core part of the answer here. But how, when you were watching that, did something not feel right to you?
Something just seemed off about it. I mean, maybe it's because I've been covering this stuff for so many years that these things kind of operate on a more instinctive level. But I think part of it was that she was giving very specific, very lurid details about part of the story, but leaving the most important parts of the story extremely vague. There's no information about where this happened, what the name of the woman was, what country it happened in, when it happened. I was also wondering, well, the first thing I was wondering was like, well, what happened to the woman after this? Did she get asylum? Sounds like a good asylum case. Like, is this somebody who...
Oh my God, that video in the background is creepy as fuck. Holy shit, why did they do that to us? They did that on purpose. With her weird smile in the back. That fucking transition to that shot, the director knew what he was doing. And I don't like that.
What the name of the woman...
That deserved a content warning.
was, what country it happened in, when it happened. I was also wondering, well, the first thing I was wondering was like, well, what happened to the woman after this? Did she get asylum? Sounds like a good asylum case. Like, is this somebody who like is now living in the United States?
The case for, in some ways, not that that was her intention,
but... So like, what's going on here? And yeah, and then I just started Googling.
You said this in your video, I believe, but you did contact her, of course, and her team, I should say. And what was that back and forth like about the details here? There was none. They didn't respond at all.
No.
The Republican argument was that, well, she never said that it was during the Biden administration. She never said that it happened in the United States. And for those of you who don't, I figured they would tell the details, but apparently they're not. The young woman is real. She is a advocate against sex trafficking. She was not trafficked by a cartel. It was a local pimp. It happened in Mexico. It happened during the George W. Bush administration. And, like, it had nothing to do with the United States border. And once again, happened under George W. Bush. And she's told that story to Congress. She's given that testimony. And she says that she doesn't appreciate Britt lying and using her story for political points.
They didn't respond at all. No, it was just me. It was just me and Google and press releases that they and the other senators who she had traveled to the border with had put out. So the information was out there. Just somebody had to go look for it.
I will admit, as much as it's disappointing, distressing, all of the things that she was so misleading, it is a bit painful to watch her try to unravel from it.
Yes.
Watching that Fox News interview, she seems to be implying that she wasn't trying to say this had anything to do with President Biden's border policy. I mean, do you buy that?
No. I mean, she makes a sandwich with a filling that I don't think I'm supposed to say on TV, right? It was like
shit. Okay. Had me a little twisted there because she was in the kitchen when she gave that response. I was like, where you go, Mr. Katz? Is that your name? I was like, where are you going with that? Talking about sandwiches here. But now I get it.
This is President Biden's border policy. Then she puts in the anecdote, which she takes without permission and apparently to the chagrin of the woman who she took it from. And by the way, this is also something, as somebody who's reported from a lot of countries in crisis, I've done a lot of reporting from developing countries, from the global south. I'm very familiar with the dynamic of people coming from the United States, from richer countries, from elite classes, and taking somebody's story and then using it to aggrandize themselves. That might have been part of what got my attention, maybe at some level. And then she ends it by bringing it back to President Biden's border policy. So, yeah, I mean, her spokesman said to other people, he didn't respond to me, but he said to other people the story was 100% correct. And maybe he meant like on the level of individual sentences, like if you broke each individual clause, like maybe each individual clause had some nugget of truth in it, but put together as a story. And then when she said in the conditional, we would be horrified if these things happened in a third world country, using an archaic term, and but this is the United States. I mean, I don't know how you get away from, she's very clearly not implying, she's just saying straight out that
it's true. I mean, I'm shocked they didn't.
Let's hear from the young lady. Like she gave an interview about this. And also, like, what a badass.
The woman at the center of the State of the Union response controversy, speaking exclusively to CNN. CNN's Rafael Romo has the story. So, Rafael, the woman, tell us more about who she is and why she has decided to speak out tonight.
Erica, her name is Carla Jacinto, and I have known her since 2014. CNN profiled her story as part of CNN's Freedom Project, which seeks to raise awareness about modern-day slavery. Jacinto says she's very careful about who she gives her testimony to and how and when she does it. So she was very surprised, Erica, she told me, when she found out yesterday that she was involuntarily put in the middle of a social media storm. This storm was prompted by what appears to be the use of her story during the Republican response to the State of the Union address by Alabama Senator Katie Britt. I reached out to Carla Jacinto in Mexico City for her reaction, and this is part of what she told me. Let's take a listen. At one point when I met you years and years ago, you told me that you felt like at the beginning Mexican politicians had taken advantage of you by using your story for political purposes. Do you feel like that happened once again here in the United States?
Yes. In fact, I hardly ever cooperate with politicians because it seems to me that they only want an image. They only want a photo. And that to me is not fair.
Trabajo como vocera.
I work as a spokesperson for many victims who have no voice, and I really would like them to be empathetic. All the governors, all the senators to be empathetic with the issue of human trafficking, because there are millions of girls and boys who disappear all the time. People who are really trafficked and abused, as she mentioned. And I think she should first take into account what really happens before telling a story of that magnitude.
And Erica, Carla Jacinto also told me that Senator Britt got many of the facts of her story wrong. First of all, Jacinto says that one, she was not trafficked by Mexican drug cartels, but by a pimp that operated as part of a family that entrapped vulnerable girls in order to force them into prostitution. Two, she also said that she was never trafficked in the United States, as Senator Britt appeared to suggest. Three, she was kept in captivity.
A neighbor slamming a door, like, spiked my microphone. That's wild.
from 2004 to 2008, when President George W. Bush, a Republican, was in office as opposed to the current administration, as the senator implied. And 4, she met the senator at an event at the border with other government officials and anti-human trafficking activists instead of one-on-one. CNN has confirmed much of what Jacinto has said in prior reporting, and her story hasn't changed since we
What showed up on the VU meter?
No one reached out to her to ask for her permission to use her story as part of a political speech. Someone using my story and distorting it for political purposes, she told me, is not fair at all. Erica?
It is really important.
The mic is awesome. I had some dude trying to bitch at me about my mic. He was like, oh, you got some cheap mic. I'm like, no. This is not a cheap mic, sir. The board that it is attached to is incredibly cheap. It didn't used to be, but it is now. I gotta get a new board. Microphone is incredibly nice. So, everybody immediately said that Katie Britt would be the cold open to Saturday Night Live. And as a Saturday Night Live watcher, I will tell you that she was. They got Scarlett Johansson to play her. And Scarlett Johansson fucking nailed it. It is excellent. I highly agree. I wish I could play it on the show. I can't. It's something you can't do on the YouTube. If they just take my money, I think Saturday Night Live they'll take you down. Let's see. I guess we're still on Trumpy shit, aren't we? Do you wanna see what a Kansas GOP fundraiser looks like? Hold on, I gotta sign into. This is not even. Oh, fucking fuck. Go to this browser. Fucking Twitter. This is the scene at a Kansas GOP fundraiser where they took turns kicking a what is that, like a ballistics dummy with a Biden mask and a shirt on, and they look stupid doing it. The dude almost fell over. No, Biden is this Biden is it an effigy if you don't set it on fire? Or is an effigy specifically a fire? If I call it an effigy, is that correct? It is wearing a Let's Go Brandon shirt. That's one of those bats that they used on American Gladiators. They look ridiculous. I don't understand having that kind of visceral hatred for virtually any politician. Trump is a loathsome individual. Like, very unique. Dan Crenshaw is a loathsome individual. I can understand. Now I've got to justify my position of wanting to piss in his eye pussy. I don't actually hate Dan Crenshaw. I wouldn't go and kick a doll with Dan. Well, I might. I don't know. Shit. Fuck it. Never mind. I would definitely piss in that doll's eye pussy. Don't clip that, because that sounds like it's some kind of sick ritual or something. Wait a minute, we're coming up on a shutdown again? How is that a thing? Oh. Let's do... I had more Trump shit, I think. Hold on. Once again, if you're just joining me, I did not have time to prepare tonight. I didn't have time to do anything but rush to put the show together. Didn't even put the show together. Here, let's watch this. This is gonna be fun. We're winging it. We're free balling tonight. This is the scene at Mar-a-Lago a couple of nights ago. Look, he looked broke. There is talk that Hamas has accepted conditions for a ceasefire. I don't think that we have an official ceasefire yet. However, I do have Sparkles on standby. I don't, Cosmic Fox, I don't do the drama. I don't like streamers. I don't even like me doing this. I've come to absolutely hate the idea of streaming and streamers as a whole. I am a broadcaster utilizing a platform just because that's the way the winds are blowing and I'm trying to be, on the cutting edge. You don't hate drama. I follow you on Twitter. Ma'am, why you coming up in here telling lies like that? I guess while we're still talking about Trump, this is interesting. We've got this video. Oh, you follow drama because you hate it. Okay, fair enough. This is when I think there's an ad from like a Lincoln Project kind of organization kind of deal. I think they've mashed up multiple people that refuse to endorse Donald Trump.
You can now add Pence to the ever-expanding list.
I know it's a CNN hit. I'm sorry.
Who say that the former president should not ever step foot in the White House again. Just let that sink in. This is a list that is quite long at this point. Among them, his former Attorney General, Bill Barr.
He's like a defiant 9-year-old kid who's always pushing the glass toward the edge of the table, defying his parents to stop him from doing it.
His former National Security Advisor, John Bolton.
Between Biden and Trump, there was no conservative on the ballot, so I wrote in the name of a
Yeah, there was Biden.
Same in 2024.
His other former National Security Advisor, H.R. McMaster.
I think it would be terribly divisive for our country for him to run again.
The former Trump Secretary, Mark Esper.
Do you think Trump can be trusted with the nation's secrets ever again?
No. I mean, it's just irresponsible action that places our service members at risk, places our nation's security at risk.
The other former Trump Defense Secretary, Jim Mattis, he said
all ghouls
invented an insurrection. The former Trump Chief of Staff, John Kelly, who says Trump has no idea what America stands for. His former Acting Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney.
I quit because I think he failed at being the president when we needed him to be that.
And his former Joint Chiefs Chairman, Mark Milley.
We don't take an oath to a king or a queen or to a tyrant or a dictator. And we don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator.
And there are others, quite a few more, in fact. But Penn.
There you have it. Get to the fun shit. Hold on, but like, you guys know about Nancy Mace? Well, we're still on the topic, like the State of the Union from last week, right? So Nancy Mace. Trying to find the original clip. I've got other people. I've got so many right wingers outraged about it. Nancy Mace went on with George Stephanopoulos to defend Trump, a rapist.
First Donald Trump for president.
And this happened a week ago. And she has not stopped trying to play victim.
Yes, this morning. And you've endorsed Donald Trump for president. Judges and 2 separate juries have found him liable for rape and for defaming the victim of that rape. How do you square your endorsement of Donald Trump with the testimony we just saw?
Well, I will tell you, I was raped at the age of 16. And any rape victim will tell you, I've lived for 30 years with an incredible amount of shame over being raped. I didn't come forward because of that judgment and shame that I felt. And it's a shame that you will never feel, George. And I'm not going to sit here on your show and be asked a question meant to shame me about another potential rape victim. I'm not gonna do that.
It's actually not about shaming you. It's a question about Donald Trump.
No, you are shaming me.
You've endorsed Donald Trump for president.
Right.
Donald Trump has been found liable for rape by a jury. Donald Trump has been found liable for defaming the victim of that rape by a jury. It's been affirmed by a judge.
It was not a criminal court case, number one. Number two, I live with shame. And you're asking me a question about my political choices, trying to shame me as a rape victim, and I find it disgusting. And quite frankly, E. Jean Carroll's comments when she did get the judgment, joking about what she was going to buy, it makes it harder for women to come forward when they make a mockery out of rape, when they joke about it.
Doesn't it make it harder for women to come forward when they are
It makes it harder when other women joke about it, and she's joked about it. I find it offensive. And I also find it offensive that you're trying to shame me with this question.
I'm not trying to shame you at all. In fact,
I have dealt with this for 30 years. You know how hard it was to tell my story 5 years ago when they were doing a fetal heartbeat bill and there were no exceptions for rape, incest, or rape or incest in there? I had to tell my story because no other woman was coming forward. No rape victims were represented. And you're trying to shame me this morning.
I'm just asking.
And I find it offensive, and this is why women won't come forward.
Women won't come forward because they're defamed by those who perpetrate rape. Donald Trump
they are judged and they're shamed, and you're trying to shame me this morning. I think it's disgusting.
I'm not shaming you at all.
I told my story. It took me 25 years to tell my story. I was judged for it. I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you very.
I wonder, like, I would normally believe women. However, like, Nancy Mace has a track record. Because I don't want to say that I don't believe women. However, she once spray painted her own house and said it was Antifa. We know this. That's who we're talking about. And she has not shut up about how George Stephanopoulos shamed her. This is her pinned tweet since the ABC interview with George Stephanopoulos.
We all walk on. I wanted to share something with you all that I have not shared with anyone this week so far. It's been a tough week since we did the ABC News interview with George Stephanopoulos, and he shamed us. It's been tough for me, tough for my family, tough.
Rape shamed us. George most certainly didn't. A majority of her tweets have been about George Stephanopoulos. This was yesterday about George Stephanopoulos. Another one about George Stephanopoulos. An individual threatened to rape her. It's absurd. Wait, did she go on Bill Maher? No fucking way. Did Bill Maher ask her, how she squared being a rape victim and voting for a rapist, endorsing a rapist? Because that seems like a very salient question to me. Just throwing it out there. Holy shit.
You can now add pen.
Speaking of Bill Maher, here's I don't know, HBO might get me for that. I've played clips of Bill Maher before, I think. I don't know, I don't want to risk it. Let's do TikTok, right? Last week, the House of Representatives passed a bill to ban TikTok, trying to force them to sell to someone else.
Access to everything TikTok has, which means data on all Americans. And with data and with access to your, app that you're addicted to, you can vastly manipulate an entire population, which the Chinese have done already.
Are you worried that our intelligence agencies are doing the same thing domestically?
Am I worried that? I know that they're not.
What?
Manipulating Americans, they're not.
Yes, I know.
Wait, I thought I was going to agree with Dan Crenshaw here. Holy shit. Did he really just say that? That all the more reason that I want to piss in his open eye pussy. The fuck, dude? You said it with a straight face?
Chinese have done.
Warlord! We did Bloodbath earlier. That was the first story off the top. Good evening. You're late. You're late because it's the wrong time in Britain. You've been on for an hour and a half, son.
Are you worried that our intelligence agencies are doing the same thing domestically?
Am I worried that? I know that they're not.
They're not manipulating Americans? They're not
Yes, I know.
controlling the flow of information?
Yeah, did you have some evidence otherwise that you'd like to share?
I mean...
Okay.
Edward Snowden? WikiLeaks? I mean, come the fuck on, dude.
Any serious questions?
If ByteDance were to say
Congressman, you asked for an example of the U.S. intelligence agencies meddling in our information. What about before the 2020 election when 50 members came out and said the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation? Does that count?
Well, no. No, not really, because that was like retired agents and shit going on like news organizations and giving their opinions as private citizens. That's no. And guess what we found out? The Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation. So,
come on, man.
Wild, I tell you. I want to get to the good stuff. Oh, we gotta fucking talk about this. Holy shit. This guy's name is John Barnett. John Barnett. Apparently, now, who is John Barnett, you might ask?
I know that he did not.
Now to a shocking twist in a murder that stunned.
I know.
You might ask me who John Barnett is, and I will tell you that John Barnett is no longer alive. He is no longer with us.
I know that he did.
He was set to testify against Boeing last week and was found dead of a supposed self-inflicted gunshot wound. There's just one problem with this idea that he was found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Did not commit suicide. There's no way.
First tonight, our investigative reporter Ann Emerson has new information in the death of Boeing whistleblower John Barnett. A close family friend of Barnett says he predicted he might wind up dead, that a story could surface that he killed himself. But he told her, don't believe it. And
Tessa, Barnett's family friend Jennifer said they had talked about this exact scenario playing out, but his words seemed like a premonition. He told her, don't ever believe it.
I knew John because his mom and my mom are best friends. And so over the years, get-togethers, birth.
Okay, so now this isn't. I thought they had this dude on tape from a couple of days ago saying, "Don't believe it if it's a suicide." But now, if this is just like a family friend or something, this becomes a hell of a lot more sketchy. And I take this with a grain of salt now. However, still fucking fishy.
Days, celebrations, and whatnot. We all got together and talked, and that's how we really know each other.
And when Jennifer needed help one day, Barnett came by to see her. They talked about his upcoming depositions in Charleston. Jennifer knew he filed an extremely damaging complaint against Boeing. He says the aerospace giant retaliated against him when he blew the whistle on unsafe practices.
Because here's the thing, is like, I know it seems fucking wild that he would be killed like right before he was supposed to give testimony, but he wrote a book. He's told his story numerous times. Like, it's not like the information isn't out there. So the idea that they killed him to prevent him from testifying is a little far-fetched. Just giving you all the information. Just throwing the scenarios out there. I believe in Occam's razor. The most likeliest explanation is the simplest explanation. But they're like, I'm withholding judgment here because this is all a little. It smells funny.
For more than 30 years, Barnett was a quality manager. He'd recently retired and moved back to look after his mom in Louisiana.
He wasn't concerned about safety because I asked him, I said, aren't you scared? And he said, and his voice and the way he would talk, no, I ain't scared. He said, but if anything happens to me, it's not suicide. I know that he...
I make that joke all the time.
Suicide. There's no way. He loved life too much. He loved his family too much. He loved his brothers too much to put them through what they're going through right now.
And he basically told you not to believe it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Not true. He's got too much to do, likes breathing. And he did. He had a lot of plans of things that he wanted to do.
What do you think happened?
I think somebody got in there and made, money can buy anything nowadays, it seems like. And there's a lot of evil in this world. I think,
and once again, if we think through it logically, now, could somebody at Boeing be mad at him? Absolutely. Could somebody at Boeing want to take revenge on him? Yes. This is it that they knew where he was going to be because he was giving that testimony. So they knew, where he would be in this hotel at this time, yada, yada. And it was a good time to take him out. If somebody else killed him, that's probably what it is, as opposed to, taking him out to prevent him from testifying, because as you saw, there was like a clip from Netflix. He did a documentary.
Somebody didn't like what he had to say and wanted to shut him up, and didn't want it to come back on anyone, so that's why they made it look like a suicide.
The last time she saw Barnett, it was at her father's funeral in late February. He was one of the pallbearers. Sometimes family and friends referred to him by his middle name, Mitch.
I think everybody is in disbelief and can't believe it. And I told everybody that I don't care what they say, I know that Mitch didn't do that.
And just because Mitch Barnett is dead doesn't mean this case won't.
Yeah, I was a little confused about Mitch.
Attorneys say they're still prepared to go to trial in June. Working for you, Ann Emerson, News 4.
All right, we're gonna do a couple crime stories here. It might be graphic. I'm gonna try to keep it light. Well, let's do this first. Hold on. We've got shooting and a manhunt yesterday. Well, hold on. Apparently there's another one. I didn't even know about this shooting. God damn it. It's just another day. 2 dead, 5 injured in a shooting in downtown Washington, D.C. Multiple people were shot at a recreational facility in Washington, D.C. early Sunday morning. This is according to the Metropolitan Police Department. It began a search for one suspect in the attack. 2 people were killed and more were injured in the gun attack, which began at Kennedy Recreational Center in the capital's downtown early on Sunday. A total of 7 people were shot at this location, 2 of which have since been pronounced deceased. The other 5 injured people were transported to local hospitals. All the victims were adults. In a post on X, the department said it had begun a search for one suspect in the attack, which it described as a black male, average build, wearing light pants and a blue shirt. This might not have been an indiscriminate killing. Just some gang violence or something. Let's do. Oh, we got a live one here. Hold on. Let's do this one first, and we'll do the live one. We've got a live shooting situation going on. A suspect in New Mexico is in custody after shooting a New Mexico State police officer, which is pretty based.
This morning at 7 a.m., Bernalillo County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched and responded to a report from a store clerk at a Murphy's gas station at 2730 Sunshine West Plaza Drive here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The clerk's description matched that of Jeremy Smith. Deputies located Smith walking on Unser, and they immediately started to establish a perimeter in a nearby residential neighborhood near Dennis Chavez Boulevard in Unser. During this time, as they had an eye on Mr. Smith, a foot pursuit ensued. Shots were fired. Some shots strike Smith. We don't know the amount right now or how many. That's still under investigation. But Smith was then taken into custody without further incident. Smith was transported to a local hospital where he's under guard being treated for his injuries at this point.
Yesterday we said that we would bring Jeremy Smith.
This is the press conference, but like we've got some footage apparently of the incident.
Well,
I've seen some stills here of the dude running away, so let's get a local news hit.
Learning more about the horrific encounter on I-40. State police today suggesting the officer was ambushed. News 13's Jessica Barone explains what we know so far.
Police say Officer Justin Hare had stopped to help 33-year-old Jeremy Smith with a flat tire yesterday morning. That's when police say Smith went up to Officer Hare's car and without warning pulled out a gun.
Jeremy Smith, we are coming for you. I implore you to turn yourself in and surrender peacefully. There's been enough death and despair.
New Mexico State Police are mourning the loss of one of their officers after they say he was murdered trying to help a suspect with a flat tire.
Looks like a chud.
Police say Officer Justin Hare stopped along I-40 near Tucumcari.
We're gonna find out this motherfucker was beating somebody on the side of the road, and like the suspect was like a good Samaritan saving somebody from the cop. I don't believe any of this. He just pulled up on him and pulled a gun on him for no reason. Don't believe it.
Yesterday morning to help 33-year-old Jeremy Smith. That's when they say Smith walked up to the passenger side door.
A short conversation ensued about repairing his tire and possibly getting a ride back to town, when without warning the suspect pulled out a firearm and shot Officer Hare.
State police say Smith then walked over to the driver's side and fired a second time.
Smith pushed Officer Hare into the passenger seat and drove away in Officer Hare's patrol unit, with Officer Hare still inside.
State police say after attempts to reach Officer Hare went unanswered, another officer was sent to help check. Shortly after, a duress signal from Officer Hare's radio went off. That's when police say Officer Hare's patrol car was seen driving westbound at a high speed along the frontage road of Interstate 40 near milepost 312. The patrol unit was later found crashed and empty 8 miles further west. Smith is believed to have fled on foot. Officer Hare was later found dead on the frontage road.
The last words Officer Hare uttered on this earth was to offer help to a man who was about to kill him.
Wait, what? No. First of all, he probably said all kinds of shit. Like he might have been like alive for hours. We don't fucking know. We don't know how quickly he died. He could have been like what was Mr. Was it Mr. White or Mr. Pink in the back of the car? Like who knows what he fucking said? Fucking tears.
Was to offer help to a man who was about to kill him.
I don't like this dude.
Hare was taken to Dantrick Hospital in Tucumcari, where he died from his injuries. State police say Smith is also a suspect in connection to the death of a paramedic on the East Coast. Smith was in a stolen
now that I'm against.
Back to missing woman Phoenicia Machado IV out of South Carolina, who was found dead Friday.
If anyone has had contact with him, please do the right thing and come forward now with your information. Going forward, though, if
Well, that's why he killed the cop. He was wanted in another state.
anyone knowingly assists him, they should expect to pay the price as well and be prosecuted with every charge possible.
So the message to him is very clear, is that we're coming for you.
State police say Smith has an extensive criminal history in South Carolina, including taking hostages and rioting in jail. He's facing a long list of charges in this case, including murder. Back to you.
Okay, Jessica,
So he has been captured now. We found that out earlier. Kind of went backwards. We got the details. Now we're gonna go live to Jacksonville, Florida. Always a Florida man. I think we're live.
That situation they'll be.
And if we can show
we're
them
live.
If you're just joining us right now, almost 9:15 this evening, there's currently an active shooter in Jax Beach, according to the Jacksonville Beach Police Department. And so far, we've been told at least 3 people have been shot, but no shooter or shooters have been found yet.
Yeah, and it's important that she says shooter or shooters, because we've also been told that the Jacksonville Beach Police have not confirmed whether there are more than one shooter or not. So you're looking right there. If you're not familiar with Jax Beach, that section you're looking at, Bar District, that's what you need to know. That's where everyone is tonight, for spring break, St. Patrick's Day, leaving the players just to the south of there.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say on a Sunday. Oh, but it's spring break and St. Patrick's Day. That's right.
Coming up to go out and party on a Sunday night, I guess. So they are still dealing with this. If you are in or around Jacksonville Beach, as our crime and safety analyst Tom Hackney said, if you maybe have a Ring camera or some sort of surveillance system on your business or your home or your property that you think could be useful, maybe review the video for the last couple hours. There might be something police could use as they try and get a handle on what exactly happened and try and track down the suspect or multiple suspects.
Yes, and we just received this from one of our producers. This is coming from Jacksonville Fire and Rescue Department. 3 people have been transported. 1 is in serious condition. 1, it's unknown, and a third person is in critical condition. So again, from this shooting, now knowing the condition of the 3 people that were shot, according to JFRD, 1 person is in serious condition. 1 person, it appears, it's unclear, maybe non-life threatening.
Any day is good for drinking.
In critical condition. 3 people shot here tonight.
Yeah, it's sad.
And he said, and if what the witness said is accurate, that it was over a period of time, Do you suspect shootout? Do you suspect a guy going around? Is there any way to tell?
Now we're just speculating.
No, but when you hear that you have a couple of people who may not be life-threatening and are serious, they're an active part of what's going to be done from an investigator standpoint. I can guarantee you there are investigators at the hospital right now waiting for their condition to be good enough that they can provide details on what happened, because obviously
that's currently in Jacksonville, at least 3 people shot. Suspect at large. God damn, there's shootings everywhere. Can't even fucking. Which was the one in Philly? Yes, crime rampage. 2-state crime rampage. That's the one I want. Rampage, manhunt, it's got it all. That's the story I was looking for. So, dude killed 3 people, barricaded himself inside a home in New Jersey, apparently.
Big Story in Action News is the latest on the investigation into a triple murder and double carjacking that ended with a 5-hour standoff. The suspect, Andre Gordon, has been charged in Mercer County, New Jersey, and is facing additional charges in Bucks County, where authorities say he went on a killing spree. Action News reporter Brianna Smith is following the investigation. She joins us live in Levittown, Bucks County, where Gordon is accused of killing 3 family members.
He did that so slow. So, like, that's a really cool effect that you do. Like, what you do, like, the way you pull it off is the floor director is over the camera, and, like, you kind of, like, let them know that you're going to another camera, so that it's, like, a real smooth transition to when you look at the other camera. So you do it at the same time, and it looks so fucking badass when you pull it off. Like, he looked like he was just sandbagging.
Went on a killing spree. Action News reporter Brianna Smith is following the investigation. She joins us live in Levittown, Bucks County, where Gordon is.
No, he turned his body the way he should have, but his eyes were. He was still reading off the teleprompter on the other camera. That's what was going on. Sorry. It's. I always wanted to do a show that was like Kitchen Nightmares, but it was me dissecting like local newscasts, what they're doing wrong.
Where authorities say he went on a killing spree. Action News reporter Brianna Smith is following the investigation.
He's not necessarily that's wrong.
County, where Gordon is accused of killing 3 family members.
Didn't look as smooth as it could have.
Walter, police say it all started here at this home on Viewpoint Lane, where Gordon killed his stepmother and then his sister. Now, as you can see, it looks much different than yesterday. The crime
broadcast nightmares
are gone, but the investigation continues. Meanwhile, authorities say the suspect is being held in Mercer County Correction Center until he's extradited back here to Bucks County.
That's kind of what this show is.
The suspect, 26-year-old Andre Gordon Jr. Police say he surrendered peacefully on New York.
By the way, like, mad props on him doing the Kubrick stare in his mugshot. Like, that's awesome. Like, did he know what he was doing, or was he just pissed off? The head tilt down, eye contact. Like the Trump doing it in the mugshot. He looks very menacing.
This home on Viewpoint Lane, where Gordon killed his stepmother and then his sister. Now, as you can see, it looks much different than yesterday. The crime tape is down, police are gone, but the investigation continues. Meanwhile, authorities say the suspect is being held in Mercer County Correction Center until he's extradited back here to Bucks County. This is the suspect, 26-year-old Andre Gordon Jr. Police say he surrendered peacefully on New York Avenue in Trenton around 5 p.m. Saturday. Investigators say that came after barricading himself inside a house on Phillips Avenue and holding people hostage for hours. But the crime spree began just before 9 a.m. Police say Gordon stole a car in Trenton and drove to Levittown, Pennsylvania, where he shot and killed his stepmother, 52-year-old Karen Gordon, his sister, 13-year-old Kara Gordon, and the mother of his 2 children, 25-year-old Taylor Daniel. He allegedly hit Daniel's mother with his AR-15 style rifle, but she's expected to be okay. Police say Gordon then carjacked a 44-year-old man in Morrisville to get back to Trenton. One neighbor who lives next to the Gordon family says he remains in disbelief.
It was kind of hard to go about your day, honestly, knowing what happened. Great family, very quiet, always greeted me with...
Well, you could say that like anytime, right? Like fucking, there's people fucking getting gruesomely murdered out here, constantly.
A smile, no matter the day. It was actually really nice having them as neighbors. I can't even believe this happened to such a nice family.
Other neighbors we spoke to agree, saying the Gordons are a kind, hardworking family who kept to themselves. The Pennsbury School District released a statement saying Kara was an 8th grader in the school district and they're offering grief counseling for those who need it. Also, Penn Valley Elementary School PTO is collecting donations for Daniel's family to help her 2 young daughters. And as for the suspect, he's facing nearly 40 charges in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, including 1st and 2nd degree murder, aggravated assault, burglary, and carjacking. And the DA's office says it could take weeks before he's extradited back here to Bucks County. Live in Levittown, Brianna Smith, Channel 6 Action News. Walter?
Okay, Brianna, thank you.
Thank you, Brianna. Greatly appreciate it. Your action. What is action news? Is it always in action? Is the news only about things that are actionable? I really don't understand it. Let's do this guy. I brought it up numerous times that Zuby had a neo-Nazi guy on his show. And I think that podcasters should be held responsible for the people that they platform.
Now to a shocking twist.
Meat Cakes, good evening.
A neighborhood.
However, this guy was like a criminal justice reform advocate, so I'm on his side with his cause. However, it appears he's a murderer after Joe Rogan had him on a show.
Now to a shocking twist in a murder that stunned a neighborhood in the Bronx.
A man found dismembered inside an apartment. Now today, police arrested a man named Sheldon Johnson. He is a criminal justice activist, and he boasted about turning his life around after getting out of prison as recently as going on shows like the Joe Rogan podcast. Now tonight, he is back in handcuffs, and he's facing murder charges. News 4's Ida Siegel is in Highbridge, where the crime scene investigators are still looking for evidence.
That's 48-year-old Sheldon Johnson being walked off in handcuffs, yelling to reporters that he didn't do what cops say he did. Murder, manslaughter, and criminal possession of a weapon. It's a shocking set of charges for a man most recently known for this.
I had a wife, I had family still, my son was growing up. He was hearing stories about my so-called notoriety.
That's Johnson appearing on the popular Joe Rogan podcast, talking about his efforts to reform himself and help other kids detach themselves from gang life, a job he's uniquely qualified for after spending 25 years in prison for attempted murder as a high-ranking member of the Bloods.
Prison does 2 things to you. It brings out the best or it brings out the worst.
But police say this is also him, here on Summit Avenue Tuesday night, carrying cleaning supplies and a full black garbage bag in and out of this building. Police were called to apartment 6G after a neighbor heard gunshots and saw Johnson in and out of the apartment. she told the building super. When police entered the apartment, they found a man's torso and a foot inside a bin. Law enforcement sources say after seeing Johnson on surveillance footage, they searched his apartment and found the victim's legs, arms, and head in the freezer.
That's very...
What the fuck? That sounds pretty airtight. So he didn't just like it wasn't like he murdered somebody who was trying to clean it up and go and dispose of the body parts. He took the parts and put them in his freezer. Was he gonna eat them?
Disturbing.
Yeah.
It makes you want to move real quick.
Police say the victim is 44-year-old Colin Small. Sources say it's possible their dispute stemmed from time they spent together in prison. But folks in this neighborhood shocked to hear that a man who had worked so hard to turn his life around, even working with the Queen's Defender's Office, might have fallen back to his old ways in a very violent fashion.
Yes, he was turning himself around and stuff like that, but remember, you know, we're creatures of habit. So whatever happened in his violent past probably crept back up, and there you go.
We reached out to the Queen's Defender's Office. No comment.
Yeah, it's like meth. Like, once you're an addict, you're always an addict, right? Like, once you got the taste for blood.
At this point. Again, Johnson says that he's innocent. Reporting from Highbridge, Ida Siegel, News 4, New York.
I mean, I'm open to the possibility that he's innocent, but the evidence seems kind of damning. It's not beyond the NYPD to lie. Just throwing that out there. Really wanted to do the Sean Fain and the 34-hour work week, 32-hour work week. That might have to be for another time. Oh, let's do this. You know I have a pee fetish, so. The police and the FBI have framed many people. That's exactly right. The evidence seems overwhelming. Councilman caught peeing on door outside of a bar has resigned. Councilman who went number 1 has been 86th from his post. Haha, LA Times. Crescenta Valley Town Council member Carly Kilpatrick resigned from office after surveillance video showed him and another man urinating outside an LGBTQ plus bar in downtown Los Angeles. For Kilpatrick. Okay, so he wasn't pissing on the bar because it was a gay bar. Him and his boyfriend were sloshed, and he pissed on the bar because he tingle. Okay. Patrick and his boyfriend were seen relieving themselves at the employee entrance sometime around 2 a.m., according to video posted to the bar's Instagram. Oh my God, we got video of it. No audio, though. Left the bar with full cocktail glasses in hand. Then decided to go to our employee entrance, whip out their dicks. It says shrimp. Piss all over it together. When done, they rounded the corner where one of the managers spotted the drinks and tried to take them away. The big one reacted by physically assaulting him, throwing him to the ground. Precinct is a safe space for all. Let's have a good time, but don't be a dick. Oh yeah, we also have several bathrooms. they're close to each other, and they're both close to the wall. I feel like he moved back just then. They were getting some splatter, weren't they? They pissed on each other. This is Precinct in L.A. This is an L.A. bar. Or La Cinta, or La Centria. Look how close they are. See? He's getting pissed on. He has to rearrange himself because he's getting splatter and piss back. Idiots. And apparently one of them was a city councilman. Two men walked out of the bar carrying cocktail glasses. Yeah, we already went over that. The taller man was identified as Kilpatrick. He threw the employee. So it was the council member who assaulted the employee. Kilpatrick's attorney, John Duran, said 2 employees from the bar approached Kilpatrick and his boyfriend without identifying themselves and aggressively grabbed Kilpatrick, asking him if he had been at the bar. My client instinctively pushed back in self-defense. It was reasonable for him to believe they were about to be possibly gay bashed. Crescenta Valley in Pasadena. That's where this happened. Northwest of Pasadena. Should have done this one earlier. I'm sorry, I meant to, but we're just kind of all over the place tonight. Should have done this when we were still talking politics.
Throws up.
Oh my God.
So,
did you know that the RNC has a new co-chairman? Her name is Laura Trump. She went on with Alex Stein. Alex Stein has a show on The Blaze. Where do you know Alex Stein from? He's the dude that sang the rap about the vaccine at like a city council or a school board meeting back in 2021. He dressed up like a nurse and had a mask on and sings a rap about how much he loves the vaccine. Now, right-wingers ran with it, like, look how crazy these leftists are. But in reality, this dude was a satirist. And he was very much anti-vaccine. He now has a show on The Blaze. He had Laura Trump on, and hilarity ensued.
So she just threw up a little bit.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
here, just hold. Here's the burp wrap in case she throws up.
Oh my God.
So yeah. So I would like you.
And then isn't that dude a Nazi or something? Like, isn't he one of Alex Jones's buddies, and he's also a known white supremacist?
If you could just give her a signed copy of Baby Tiffany. So do you have your book?
Do you have a pen or something, Jimmy?
I have a pen. Where's your book?
Please stop using. Please, honestly, Jimmy, you're going too far by giving her the baby and all this stuff.
We have a Tiffany in our family.
We didn't go over this. So you're going to give her the baby
No,
on this
it's
show.
okay.
Nobody acknowledges Tiffany.
Wait, can you wait? Do you have the book?
Oh, I don't have a copy of the book.
Okay, well, good. I brought it back up. You can just sign
sign
this.
the thing.
Just say to Baby Tiffany, love Laura. Sorry, I don't have a free hand, so you're gonna have to hold the baby.
I'm doing it all. Wait.
Yeah. So just do this.
Casual.
To Baby Tiff. Or Baby Tiffany.
Baby Tiff.
Gosh, Jimmy, we've told you so many times to stop bringing your baby on set. I don't know why you keep doing this.
And your dumb baby on our set. Ah! Oh my God. That's what we do with babies on our set.
Tiffany's over here.
Oh, okay. Thank God. I know we're not allowed to punt real babies.
Gosh.
Joe Biden.
Okay,
is
sorry.
America.
I'll get off.
Jimmy, get off set.
Okay,
Just
sorry,
leave
sorry,
the baby
sorry.
with me.
We're good. We'll do.
All right, guys. This has been a tremendous interview with the one, the only, Laura Trump. Oh crap, I'm trying to burn this, trying to catch this baby doll on fire. Jimmy, I caught it on fire. Is this bad or is this good? And that's why I always like to use a real baby. Like you see this fake baby, you can just hit the baby, you can kick the baby. I mean, that's not good. I mean, you can just do anything to this baby. You can just kick it and the Trump Biden, sometimes I'll take off my shoe. I like to grab the baby. I like to hold the baby like this, and I like to, you can zoom in, I'll just hit the baby's head. I just hit the baby's head as hard as I can.
This is horrible.
Alex Stein's School of Babysitting.
Well, the reason number 1 million why I'll never let you babysit. But Laura,
this is how I babysit.
Oh gosh.
Oh, give me the baby. Time to babysit. This is how I was reared as a child, and that's why I became so strong.
I mean, that explains a lot. So you got hit in the head as a child. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, my dad told you he hit me on the head a bunch. Bro, baby, maybe if you stopped worrying about your damn baby and started letting it smoke, you'd actually be a good father. They actually say that if you get your kid and you make him smoke a pack of cigarettes all at once and you get him violently
helps him up.
Poisoning, the chances of him smoking again is very low. We're losing viewers right now, Jimmy. I'm freaking almost lighting this doll on fire. I'm going to burn the baby's hand. Will that help us get viewers?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, honestly, lighting it on fire would probably be good for viewership, but bad for employment.
That bit was too much. Hold on, let me respond to my Instacart shopper. Like, just bear with me. I'm like, I ordered $200 worth of groceries. Take your time. It was not quite $200. I mean, it was over $200 once through tip and everything. But it was just shy of $200. Sorry, getting on here like bragging about like spending $200 on groceries. Some people don't have that fucking luxury in Joe Biden's America. God damn it! Can't even jack off in Texas anymore.
So she just threw up a little bit.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
Pornhub.
Here's the
blocked Texas. Searches for VPNs have spiked apparently. Oh, hold on! Before we move on, I looked up the Alex Stein thing, cause like that rap that he did, it was at the Dallas City Council in January of 2022. So just over 2 years ago, and it was absurd. But just the fact that right-wingers thought that this dude was a lefty is hilarious.
Late traffic. Hey. Barely right on time. Okay. Let me catch my breath. Sorry, guys. Okay.
This is just so cringe.
I'm Alex Stein. I'm here today because we got to vaccinate our children. You know, we really don't have enough vaccines. Like, they're not mandatory, and that's the problem. We got to mandate these vaccines. So I've figured a way where I think we can make it, I don't know, like, I guess more hip and cool for, my phone's not working. I'm trying to get, what I want to say is we got to vaccinate our kids, and we have to vaccinate them fast and early. But of course my phone's not playing, but I had a song that I wanted to do, and of course it never works when you're trying to make it work, but I guess we'll just have to freestyle it. But will the real Dr. Fauci please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. Vaccinate your mom. Vaccinate your dad. Vaccinate the happy. Vaccinate the sad. Vaccinate your babies. Vaccinate them, even if they got rabies. Vaccinate my life. Vaccinate my wife. Vaccinate your DNA. Vaccine created by the CIA. Vaccinate your body. Vaccinate me at the party. Vaccination freak. Vaccination freak a leak. I want the vaccine in my life. I want the vaccine for my wife. I want to vaccinate you all day long. Vaccinate you while I wear my thong. Vaccinate me. Vaccinate who? Vaccinate she. Vaccinate her. Vaccinate them. Vaccinate my friend. I want to vaccinate to the end. Vaccinate me, pure L. I love you. What can I say? DNA, I love you. I got the pure L, feeling pure. So clear.
Doing this got him rewarded with a show on the Blaze. Richard stands by QAnon Tom Green. The rap's not bad. Like, he's not... I mean, it's bad. But it's like, there's a kernel of talent there. The dude doesn't have to be a complete dipshit. Chooses to be. There's something there, Snicks. I agree. However, he's a chud. And his baby burning and it's not that I'm offended by him trying to burn a baby or smacking it on the head. It's just like, it wasn't funny. It wasn't well done. Richard's really wanting to watch the Ukraine rap. Are you in Texas and unable to jack off? Is that why you're begging for a Ukraine rap? Pornhub suspends site in Texas due to state's age verification law. Legal experts say a Fifth Circuit decision to uphold part of a Texas law regulating adult entertainment websites conflicts with U.S. Supreme Court precedent regarding minors' access to obscene material online. We're reading from the Texas Tribune. In the latest installment of the dispute between adult content websites and Texas lawmakers, Pornhub suspended service to Texans on Thursday, arguing a state law infringes on adults' right to access protected speech. Pornhub, one of the most visited websites in the world, I bet it is. I was on there 3 times at least today. For the longest time, I held out. I didn't want to, give my data over to Pornhub and my cookies and everything. But now I don't even give a shit. I think I'm JustinFREAKIN on Pornhub. Look me up. Oh, that's a good one, Richard. Texas already had dry counties. Now it's got really dry counties. Pornhub disabled its website in Texas after the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the age verification requirement in a ruling last week that cited a 1968 U.S. Supreme Court decision preventing the sale of obscene materials to minors. But the question of regulating minors' access to online material has already been well established, legal experts say, and it stands in sharp contrast to the most recent decision from the Fifth Circuit, which is batshit crazy, by the way. The appeals court previously reversed an injunction of a U.S. District Court judge which had blocked the law from going into effect in August. The Fifth Circuit's temporary stay required pornography websites to impose age verification measures and display health warnings that said pornography is proven to harm brain development. I don't believe that's true. I am certain that what has been proven to harm brain development is excess pornography. Anything in moderation is fine. The problem is when you get obsessive with the behaviors. That's when you create problems for yourself. Moderate pornography use is just fucking fine. Now is me saying that I was on Pornhub 3 times at least today, is that moderate Pornhub usage? Probably not. I probably haven't. A woman on Twitter called me a porn addict the other day. I assume because they went through my likes. Because when I see a nice girl dick, I like it. I have a thing for hairy vaginas. I see a hairy vagina, I'm gonna like it. If I see a big ass, I'm gonna like it. So apparently, and that's also part of the reason why, like, if right wingers go back through my likes, they're just gonna see a bunch of girl dick, and it's funny to me. And a woman called me a porn addict. Ma'am, I don't get on Twitter that often, and I try to keep my porn content about 10-15% of the content on Twitter, because I want it to mainly be news and pop culture and shit that I'm actually interested in. Not that I'm not interested in porn. It's just like I want the occasional bush and nice rack and girl dick and even maybe even a nice regular dick. Doesn't necessarily have to be a girl dick, but I'm just more attracted to the feminine side of the spectrum. I want it to just be occasional. I don't want it to be if you let that shit get out of control, it gets overwhelming. I want my Twitter to be 25% wrestling, 15% porn. What is that? 40%, 60% news and current events. Does that math add up?
But then you take my 75% chance of winning and then add 66 and 2/3%.
I'm just
I
rambling
got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning.
Did you hear about Don Lemon? Don Lemon signed an agreement with Elon Musk. Air the Don Lemon show on Twitter. And he had Elon as his first guest, and apparently he didn't suck Elon's dick enough. He didn't suck up to Elon enough. And he got booted from his show. Megyn Kelly said disgraced former CNN anchor Don Lemon behaved like an asshole during his interview with Elon Musk, and that he should have been more grateful. Elon Musk says he's leaning away from Biden in a clip of testy interview with Don Lemon. Here we go. Here is a clip. Apparently the whole interview is not out yet.
You recently met with Donald Trump in Florida. What did you guys talk about?
I was at a breakfast at a friend's place, and Donald Trump came by. That's it.
What did you discuss?
I don't. Let's just say he did most of the talking.
Did he ask you for money?
He didn't.
Are you going to loan him money to help pay his legal bills?
I'm not paying his legal bills in any way, shape, or form.
Did he ask you for a donation?
No.
Are you leaning towards anyone?
No.
You're not leaning towards anyone because you've been.
Does this seem contentious? I don't think it seems contentious. Apparently, Megyn Kelly said that Don Lemon behaved like an asshole. That was Don Lemon behaving like an asshole.
Megyn Kelly weighed in on the Don Lemon controversy. Of course, Don Lemon, the former CNN anchor, was essentially let go by Elon Musk and his social media site X after Lemon apparently conducted what turned out to be a contentious interview with Musk as part of the first episode of the Don Lemon Show. Of course, X announced earlier this year that Lemon would be joining forces with the site, which streamed his new show after he was let go by CNN last year. Apparently, Lemon's tenure at X ended before the first episode really aired, and Megyn Kelly weighed in, essentially mocking Lemon for saying that he couldn't hold on to a job and how he behaved like quote-unquote an a-hole towards Musk, and that Lemon should have been more.
Did it seem like he was behaving like an a-hole? We only have the one little clip to go off of. I think like it's just like if you're not sufficiently subservient or sucking up enough to Elon, he gets upset.
More grateful to Musk for giving him a chance and for resurrecting his career after his, let's just say, negative departure from CNN last year. Lemon claims that Musk essentially reneged on his pledge to allow free speech when he got upset over questions that Lemon asked him about his past drug use as well as the spread of hate speech on X. Musk, meanwhile, accused Lemon of essentially bringing his CNN show onto X, and Musk was not having any of that. So Lemon had his contract terminated with X, but Musk did say that Lemon will be allowed to continue to stream his show on X, and viewers can tune into Lemon's X account and they can watch the show from there. So X will will not censor the show, but their partnership and arrangement has been terminated, according to the company.
Their arrangement has been terminated. Sorry, Don Lemon, I guess. I really don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about Don Lemon. I hope I live to see Elon Musk broke. Broke in a mockery. I don't want to talk about celebrities' kids pooping. Hey, man, is Libertad here? He might be into that. We'll save it for another day. Oh, no. Please tell me there's video. Come on. No. How is there not video of this? I've got to find. Surely there's video. You guys don't even know what I'm talking about yet. Hold on. CNN's got the video. Good on this. So we're going to New York. I don't know what to think about this story. A 750-pound alligator was seized from a home. Apparently somebody was keeping this motherfucker as a pet, and the kids used to swim with it.
This is Albert the alligator,
now you can see why I wanted fucking video of this, right?
11-foot, 34-year-old gator weighing more than 800 pounds.
I'm Albert's dad. That's all there is to it. He's like family to everybody.
Tony Cavallaro got Albert at an Ohio reptile show in 1990.
He was 2 months old when I got him. He was captive born. He don't know nothing but people his whole life.
This is Albert's room, which Tony built an extension on his home just for his gator.
Wow!
From here on Wednesday.
My yard's swarmed with...
Oh, now I believe that this motherfucker has been wronged. That gator deserves to be, like, give this to his daddy. What? That gator is probably scared. Now I'm upset. Holy shit.
This is Albert's room, which Tony built an extension on his home just for his gator, who was taken from here on Wednesday.
My yard's swarmed with DEC cars. They're up the road.
On Wednesday morning, the DEC seized the gator with the help of police and the FCA, citing Albert was illegally kept without a permit.
They wouldn't let me out here to see him taking him out of here.
And then they loaded Albert into the back of the cargo van and just laid him in there.
Laura Lautner lives next door.
It was really upsetting how it was handled.
This is the permit Tony has for Albert. It expired in September of 2021. He tells me he tried getting it renewed by the DEC.
They would not answer me, so this is on them.
The DEC says Albert was blind in both eyes and had spinal issues. Tony says none of that is true. As far as claims that children swam with Albert, Tony says kids have posed for pictures in the pool, but it wasn't often.
And they got right out and we dried them off or whatever.
But many people are fans of Tony and Albert together. Thousands have rallied on social media blasting the DEC for seizing the 4-year-old gator. Some even making shirts to take Albert back.
He's not having alligator get-togethers or parties, and he's just a neighbor, and he's a really nice guy, and he loves that alligator and treats it really, really well.
The drumsticks.
The DEC says the gator is now in the care of a licensed caretaker. A spokesperson tells me even if Cavallaro did still have a license for Albert, any public contact with the reptile would be prohibited.
Well, it's apparently like really fucking old. How old? Like 34. How old do alligators live? Some lizards live a long time. Oh, they live about 50 years, so... I don't know. It didn't look well off, but it also kind of looked, it looked well fed. Tony's been taking real good care. Like, so my mom had a cat, and it died of fatty liver disease. That cat, you know, did my mom kill the cat by overfeeding it? Not, you know, never cutting it off, always giving it treats, letting it eat whenever it wanted, letting it have people food? Probably. But, like, you know, that's what I'd say he's done to that fucking alligator. Like, it's living in captivity in a house. It doesn't have a lot of room to exercise and shit. It's eating a lot. So I don't know. I knew I wouldn't get out of here by 10 o'clock. Let's watch some Cats in Tanks. Cats in Tanks. Cats in Tanks. Cats in Tanks.
หน่วยพิฆาตระหำกู้โลก
Not like actual tanks, though. Like box tanks on Roombas. Oh shit, he fell over. Get down. Thank you guys for everyone who tuned in tonight. Sorry, it was kind of, we freeballed. I've been super fucking busy. I need to get off here, do even more fucking work. I've got so much work to do. Nix, I need to get up with you. I want to hire you to do something. My Discord doesn't work on my computer anymore, and I feel kind of like hindered. I don't really use my phone. I don't know. I feel like I need to like reformat my hard drive because some weird shit's going on. But I got so much fucking work to do. I don't really have the free time to reformat my hard drive. Yes, Nix, I've my business website, I've pretty much built it. Like, it's there, but like it's plain. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. If it's something, shoot me a message somewhere. I'll get on Discord. I'll get your number. I'll get on my phone. But like, if you just like, I can just give you the login and you like do something. I don't even care if this like. I wanted to try to I wanted to try to do like a whole new demo reel and everything, like make a whole new demo video. And like, I just don't have the fucking time. Apparently, like, I'm constantly getting hired for shit, so apparently people be hiring me, and then like one dude like fucking hired me a month ago and hasn't even given me the shit to do his video yet. I've finished people's jobs and they haven't even fucking messaged me back. Like, it's weird. It's wild. It's not good. I take on too much at once, and then I get behind, and then I freak out. I get the executive dysfunction. I don't really like working. I can't stand it. Not can't stand it. That's not it. I love what I do. I love video editing. But it's like, when you commodify something that you love, it sucks the fun out of it. And a lot of times, like, I'm really into what I'm doing. Once I actually sit down and do what I need to do, like, oh fuck, I had fun doing this. I'm so good at doing this. But like making myself like, I don't want to sit down and write a script for a client and come up with, blah blah blah. I got 2 different videos that like I am way overdue on them. Haven't even started on them. Over $1,000 worth of work. I need to do those like in the next day or 2. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do them in a day. So sorry. That's why I haven't been on the stream as much. People want me to make videos for them. And like I need to make money because I'm hungry. Literally, I'm very hungry right now. A co-working space. I mean, I've done like, I'm on like Asana and Slack and Zoom and GoToMeeting and Mondays and blah 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 blah. A co-working space is not one I've heard of, but I assume it's something like one of the gazillion that I'm on with all these different fucking, with like the marketing firms and the blah 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 blah. My biggest client is Saucy TV, and like I had no idea because like I guess where I'm old, I just don't consume their kind of content on the TikTok and the YouTube and the shit. I had never heard of them, but like they get recognized and shit. It just hit me up and we'll connect. But he was like, hey, let me pay you through Zelle, and I'm like, I don't even know what Zelle is. I've already got like 50 different things. Why can't you pay me through one of the 50 different things I had? And I went and I looked, I downloaded the Zelle app, but like I don't need Zelle. Apparently my bank does it. And this dude like used this Zelle app, paid me, went straight into my bank account. And I was like, oh, well, that was pretty cool. Good call on that one. Didn't even know what it was. All right, I'm down with that. Pay me like that from now on. Well, usually it just goes into my PayPal and it's instantaneous there too. But I've got if I need to transfer it to my bank or whatever, I've got an extra step there. But like, Zelle's just in my bank. That's fucking cool. All right, we'll try to do a stream on Tuesday. God, that was hard getting that out. We'll try to do a stream on Tuesday. I'll make no promises, but we got some election coverage we need to do. We're getting into the thick of it. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. Might see you on Tuesday. If not, I'll see you